It's really no wonder that people adore the Jaguar F-Type so much, from our Prestige collection in particular, because when you consider just the look, the sound and the performance, even with nothing else, although there is plenty more to love, those three things alone, which of course are, you could argue, the most important three things for a sports car, for under £26,000, well, that's already superb value. Of course, a huge saving versus what these cars were when new, still available with things such as low deposit finance on top of that, but with an incredible spec sheet. These are known as well, especially here in 3-litre S form, for being one of the best sounding 6-cylinder cars on the road, but it's not just all show no go. It has plenty of performance as well, that's for sure. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, 171 miles an hour flat out. And of course that's courtesy of 375 horsepower, and here's the crucial advantage, which it has over many traditional sports cars, certainly from Europe in particular, and that is its torque. Usually sports cars tend to be higher end vehicles. They need to be pushed hard to get the best out of them. They have a lot of high end power, very high revving engines, but not so much on the low end, which is why some can feel sluggish or sometimes ironically even a little slow off the line. Not the case with the Jaguar though, because of course in addition to that 375 horses, it has 340 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot of pulling power, and certainly in a two-seater convertible frame such as these are. Now this is actually a relatively early shape F-Type, 2013, and in future that could well end up being one of the most collectible, given this is where the origins of the F-Type began. But by far the most special thing about this particular car, finished in the timeless combination of Italian racing red with jet performance seats, is actually its mileage. The mileage on this car has to be one of the lowest on the road, and certainly one of the lowest on the market, because it's covered 17,000 less miles than the average for one of these from 2013, and what that means in practice is 28,000 miles on the clock, which is astonishingly low for one of these, and that is with a full service history as well. It still has its original 2 keys, only 2 keepers from brand new, the most recent of whom have had the car for 6 years, so clearly they've loved it, and as you can tell from its condition and certainly from its mileage, this of course has not lived a hard life. It's a vehicle which has enjoyed the sunniest days, the best weekends, exactly the kind of thing which you would expect a car like this to be intended for. At the same time though, one of the reasons why people love both the F-Type and of course the XK, which came before it, is because they're not just sports cars. They don't just have the look, the performance, etc. They actually are fantastic long distance cars as well, because not only is the ride quality good and the interior a lovely place to be, they're actually very well equipped. Of course this one has the active sports exhaust, which sounds, as they all do, fantastic. Bluetooth, USB and auxiliary inputs as well. Cruise control, naturally, a 6-speaker sound system. Not that you'll probably be using that too often given how good they sound, but it is still an option. Of course, parking aids such as sensors, climate control, the list goes on. Don't be fooled by it being a 2-seater sports car. It may well be that first and foremost, but it's also a Jaguar, and that means it's well equipped, comfortable, and of course, very, very enjoyable to drive. And the real cherry on the cake for these, again going back to that long distance ability, which speaks to the GT roots which came before this, their economy is actually shockingly good, particularly on the motorway when you can slap on the cruise control, fly down to the south of France in a car like this, where incidentally it certainly doesn't look out of place, and average around 40 miles to the gallon on the motorway, which again from a 170 mile an hour car with these kind of looks and soundtrack, that's a pretty stunning combination. And of course with Christmas coming up, it would be a pretty incredible present for somebody as well. So if you are looking for a Jaguar F-Type, certainly in this colour scheme with a fantastic history behind it and astonishingly low mileage, then this might be a perfect car for you to consider. So if you would like to reach out regarding it, of course you could send us an email to the address shown here on screen, or of course give us a call on 01749 871 155 or on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.